I'm Tyler Glick, and this is the Ignite Clarity Career Podcast. Each week, I sit down with regular people who have discovered promising careers, and together we learn exclusive stories about their journey and the details of their industry. This is Ignite Clarity.
All right, Justin Brown, long time no see, my friend.
It has been a while. Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being willing to meet and just chat because we're here to learn. That's what this podcast is about. The purpose of the podcast is to introduce, inform, and detail different industries, jobs, and careers so that people can be encouraged and explore new paths. So that's why you're here.
Perfect.
So I really wanted to bring you on the podcast to discuss your entrepreneurial venture in Vancouver, Washington. But before we get into that, I do want to learn a little bit about you and the things that got you where you are today. So we'll start off with just a quick introduction, where you're originally from, and then some of the stepping stones, or I call them stepping stones, but kind of like your work history that led you to where you are now. And then when you get to Camp Pondo, when we get to that little bit, I'll kind of chime in because that's where we first made our connection.
Yeah, sounds good. My name is Justin Brown. I think you said that already. I'm from Portland, Oregon is where I grew up, or where I was born. I grew up in Lapine, Oregon, Central Oregon. Okay. But I've lived most of my life around the Portland area. Was here for a long time, got into heating and air conditioning. I went to college for 2 years, but still was unsure what I wanted to do, and then ended up going to trade school, got into heating. I've been in that most of my life. Worked for someone else at first, then started my own heating business, but we did a lot of new construction. And in 2009, we died. When everything died, we were all new construction. New construction stopped. Our builders didn't pay us, and we were stuck. So I guess we got to Pondo pretty quick here.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, you gave me a lot to unpack. So I kind of want to slow that down. That was a huge progression, but I love it because that tells me where I need to go. I want to start with college. You had the opportunity to go to college. That's awesome. And I kind of want to know first, just remind me what school that was and what did you originally go for? Were you undeclared or did you have a major?
I was undeclared at first. I went to Mount Hood Community College. And then I thought I wanted to be an architect, and I switched to Portland State.
Okay.
And the beginning of architecture is all art, and I wasn't a great artist. And, the other kids would tear apart my work. I'm good structurally, but I'm not good painting and things. And so
they're literally making you painting buildings or what?
Not buildings, just art, just art class. So painting, whatever, and drawing, things like that. Mm-hmm. But nothing structural. It wasn't architecture.
Yeah, not what you had in mind.
Not what I had in mind. I just wasn't sure that's what I wanted to do. And I was spending money. And so I just paused. I had a friend that was going to go to trade school. And it was a 1-year course. So I went with him. It was good. I learned a lot, for anyone thinking about getting into heating, 'cause it sounds like that's what this is all about is, different career paths.
It's a path.
Options.
Yeah, it's a path.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a good one. There are just, I guess things that I think people should look out for that I've learned over the years. Don't go to trade school just to get a certificate. That won't do you any good. You want to be able to, at least in HVAC, you want to be able to perform the tasks that they teach you to do. If you go and pay attention and it's where you want to be and you have the aptitude for it, then it's a great place. And I did, got out, got a job. My first job went pretty quick. There wasn't a ton of support and I probably wasn't ready to be on my own.
Okay. And what company was that with? If you can remember.
It was a tiny company and they were great, but then I went to a different one. Ace Heating was the one I went to from there, and they had a dispatcher that was an ex-service tech, and other service techs that they put me in a van with somebody, and actually, I rode around with somebody and learned.
Okay.
From there, I pretty quickly went into my own van, but that's a much better way to go when you first get out of school
Mm-hmm.
than just being put in a car and sent out to calls when you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. But so that was really good. And then anytime I had questions, I could call that dispatcher and he would walk me through. But I had enough knowledge, like I knew what all the parts were, I knew what they did, I knew, how to identify what was happening, and then he could talk me through. So that was a good fit for me. I too quickly went out on my own, to be honest, which I think a lot of people do in the trades. Just owning my own business sounded appealing to me. And I was a good service tech at that point. I was a good installer. I saw what they made on installs and I didn't understand overhead. I didn't understand costs. I also didn't understand different departments, different tasks or responsibilities that need to happen within a business. Mm-hmm. And so I started my own business and did okay. I did new construction. That's the easiest, I think, for a new business if you don't have your processes in place, systems in place. But it was just okay. I shouldn't have gone out on my own yet. My advice to other people would be stay, work for a company for longer, find a company that values you and work for them longer and learn the business end before going out on your own.
You learned, and that's cool because, I mean, education, right? This is for people to learn, and I think I learned a lot just by listening to that, and a lot about you that I didn't even know, and we worked together for a while. So
yeah.
But to be fair, I was a young teenager who didn't really care about other people as much as maybe I should have at the time. So
you were like 18, right?
I was
just out of high school.
I was. Yep. All right. So cool. That's awesome. We covered the college part. I love talking about education because there's always two sides. You can either decide to go or not. And you kind of did both. And you found out the hard, maybe a little expensive way that it wasn't the way you wanted to go, spending some money and then went into trade. And that's great. That's similar to what I did. I went to school and originally wasn't for me. Like that I found out that was not for me, and I dropped out and ended up going to school again. But I did it a much different way. So you can hear about that on igniteclaritycc.com. But all right, so let's move on to, let's go to Andrea, your lovely wife. When did she come to the picture?
Yeah, we met at an underage dance club, which is where all great marriages start, I think. Uh-huh. Probably not. But I mean, I don't know if this is a religious show at all, but I really believe that God stepped in. I mean, we both felt the dance floor part, and there she was on the other end of this path. Not been easy or perfect all the time, but it's we're 26 years in now, and it's been amazing. We have 3 boys, Ryan, Alex, and Tyler. Our oldest is 23, middle is 21, and youngest is 18. So family life has been, I think, probably maybe my most successful part of my life, which is awesome because that was my main goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I got 2 little ones of my own, and I have a lot of people right now telling me that you can work all you want and chase titles and goals, but don't miss your kids growing up. Just don't. Just go home, spend the time. And so in between that, I do this, and and I enjoyed talking to other people as well. So, okay, so you met Andrea, and she was your connection to Pondo then, Camp Pondo?
Yeah. So we didn't really know anything about Pondo. But in 2009, when we really slowed down, everything kind of died. And I decided, I remember coming out of the office one day and go, I want to do something different. I think it's time to quit. And she's like, what do you want to do? And I said, I have no idea. I just basically have to make the decision to tell the people in our world that that's where I'm at, and hope something comes up from that. And the first person she called was her brother, Aaron, and he and his wife worked at Pondo.
For people, we're going to reference Pondo. It's Ponderosa to Pines Christian Camp. It's in the Southern California mountains. And it's a non-denominational Christian camp that hosts summer, camps and winter camps for middle school and high school, as well as private groups. That's a little bit of background there. When we're talking about Camp Pondo.
Yeah. So he called Dan and Becky. They're the directors, and they apparently had just decided they were feeling overwhelmed and needed to hire someone. Mm-hmm. And so I think it was later that afternoon, Dan called me, and he bought us plane tickets to go visit. And we were out there, I don't know, pretty quick. Visited, loved it. They're really cool. The camp's really cool. That was actually a really great experience in our lives, especially because our kids were really little when it happened. Right. So we basically packed up, moved to Southern California. We're, like I said, we're from Portland. Moved to Southern California, lived on site.
And that was to be what kind of position was that at the time?
We started out running the kitchen.
Okay.
And then as we got there, my wife went to registrar and I went to activities director. Mm-hmm. So in the kitchen, we managed I think there were 7 to 10 people that worked in there. As activities director, there's, we're basically I got paid to figure out the fun stuff to do at camp.
Yeah.
And to train the college kids, hire and train the college kids that came in. There were probably 50 kids each summer, you being one of them. There were, 4 or 5 of you guys from Pennsylvania?
It grew. Yeah, it grew. So just Josiah was there first. He was my connection through my church, and he recommended it to me. So that's when I came out the following summer. But then they did come back out again for another summer, and he brought with him a couple of his buddies from Pennsylvania. So yeah, a lot of Pennsylvania connections ended up at the camp over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. And honestly, that was probably my favorite thing about the camp. So honestly, guys like you and those guys and many others really came beside my kids way more than I thought they would. I mean, we're talking college kids, and my youngest was 3. They were 6 and 7, or 6 and 8, or the older 2. They just loved the college kids, and the college kids just hung out with them all the time. So I think we were there for 6 years. So it was a huge influence on the type of human beings they became. So that was the coolest part.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got a lot of fun memories from those years. I worked in the kitchen my first summer with Robbie and a lot of other awesome ladies, because I think I was a very late hire for you. Maybe I was only 18 at the time, so I was pretty limited on what I could do. So I did the kitchen, and it was a blast working in there. And it wasn't until I came back and worked full time at the camp that you and I really worked more together. And obviously we were living in the same place, so we're going to talk a lot and hang out. Yeah, hanging out with your boys was amazing, and I just can't believe how big they are now. It's ridiculous that little Tyler was just little 3-footer. And they're all huge soccer players now.
It happens fast.
Yeah,
really fast. Uh-huh.
But yeah. So anyway, Justin, I think you were probably the most relaxed leader, and I'll call you a leader because you were in a position of leadership over summer staffers, which were college age, 18 and up. And it was a pleasure to work for you because I see all the headaches that some of them created, but you were so level-headed the entire time. And I think of that now in my day-to-day. I'm like, okay, I'm at work. It's not that bad. There's never going to be something so bad where I need to flip my lid. And so I think back to you working with all those kids. I mean, if I had to work with kids now, nothing against kids, but if I had to do that day in and day out, I couldn't. It's not what I wake up to do every day. But you did that for 6 years, and it had a huge impact on, I would say, thousands of kids and people that came through that camp.
That's really cool. It was definitely a pleasure. There were really cool people, cool humans that came through. It was challenging at times. I'm glad you thought I was calm. I wasn't always calm.
Maybe I don't remember all them. I'm sure you might remember some, but I wasn't the one getting in trouble. So
You weren't. You were great.
All right. So well, that was great. That's pretty much we'll call it, well, those are stepping stones right there. That's everything that got us to kind of what I want to move into now, which is SureTech. And you can correct me if I misstate anything. I did some research on your website and all that. But Justin is the founder of SureTech Heating and Cooling LLC. You've been in business now as SureTech Heating and Cooling for how long?
6 years, 6.5.
Wow,
2000,
that's
late 2018, I think. 2019.
okay. So we'll move on to this. Obviously, this question is kind of going to build on what you've already told me. But when did you decide that you wanted to start SureTech? What was the main venture?
I didn't really have the plan to go back into business for myself. When we moved back here, I was a salesman for a company. I enjoyed it. I got to go home and not worry, after work. I didn't have, the bills of a business, even if it's a small business, are bigger than personal bills. And so I think the stress is high, can be higher. I didn't plan on going back into business for myself. I was just in sales and I enjoyed it. They went out of business. And when that happened, I teamed up with some other people there and we started a business together. And it was actually going really well. We had good business right away. We had the right people in the right seats, things like that. And so that was a couple of years. Then I started to notice some things. So basically I had to leave to go on my own. It's kind of hard when you first start, especially like I didn't want to take any of the business from my partnership. We sent out a letter and let them know what I was doing, and some people followed me, so that was really helpful to get us started. But but I kind of had to start from scratch. So the why is because I was kind of forced to.
Okay.
I could have gone to work for somebody else. But after that partnership was good, and our last year that I was there, we started to really see a flow, and I really enjoyed that. And I think what I enjoy is I enjoy mentoring people and teaching people more than I don't mind fixing furnaces and, installing ACs or stuff like that. I don't mind the mechanical side at all. I like it. I like solving problems, but I like having the relationship piece in there. So I enjoy helping people grow. And so I think that's why I went on my own.
All right. So let's talk market barriers. You mentioned that when you opened SureTech, you didn't want to take business away from your other partner and all that. So how did you overcome that? And what were some of the barriers that you experienced?
Barriers, I mean, there's a couple. Start out with you need the phone to ring. So you need customers to call that need work. Word of mouth is great, is huge for that. And the percentage of quotes you do for word of mouth that you can close is way higher. But we needed some extra too. So we got a Google My Business page. I think that's when I first learned about Google My Business. I built a website, and it started working. The phone would ring. I didn't do any paid advertising at the time. Just built the Google business and started putting some things on there in the website. And then I ended up needing to hire a guy. So that was the first one, is just getting business. That worked.
So what were the upfront costs then? I mean, obviously the website's free, but did you have to go get like a small business loan to get a van or a car or tools? I mean, I know you've done this a lot, so you probably had tools and stuff like that. Um, but in order to, purchase HVAC systems with credit and all that, did you have to do anything special?
I got some money out of when I left the other company.
Okay.
So I got a decent chunk, and that's how I started it. I didn't have to get a loan, which is a total blessing. I think to start a small business, even if it's on your own, I mean, you need a van and all the tools and all the parts, and then, like you said, you have to buy equipment, and so you're fronting that money sometimes. In our business, our focus is existing systems. So we repair them, maintenance them, and replace them. So on repair and maintenance, we get called out and we get paid right after we're done, most times. So that's quick, good cash flow. On installs, we get half down, half on completion.
Okay.
So that helps the cash flow a lot too. But I would say a person would need $100,000 because you need, I mean, maybe 50 if you're careful with it, but you need some buffer because there's also that first year you're probably going backwards, probably not making any money. So there's money you spend on the gas, the van, and I think we have 6 different bonds. We have 3 or 4 different licenses for the state of Washington, and we're licensed in Oregon too. A bunch of different licenses and bonds and insurance.
You're right on the border, right? So you can go back and forth pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, the river is the border. So yeah, there's some expenses and time to set that stuff all up in the beginning. So obviously that's time spent not not bringing in money. But yeah, I set that all up. I got a van coming out of the partnership as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was helpful. Then just started going to work at that point.
So then how did you go about separating yourself from the other companies? Because just a quick Yelp search on HVAC repair or replacement in Vancouver, Washington area, you get like 24 different pop-ups. So how do you differentiate yourself? And I think I kind of know because I read through some of your bio and some of your background in the page of how you operate your business, but I think you could explain it better.
There is a lot of competition, especially now. I think the word got out the HVAC is a good business to be in. So a lot of bigger companies are buying up smaller HVAC companies, and a lot of new people are getting into it from the standpoint of business ownership, and then they hire the guys in it. How we're different is we kind of play on the fact that we're small. So when someone calls, they can get a hold of me, the owner. We also, we really just want to take care of our customers. We want to build relationships that last. And I think that just means we have to take care of them. When I hire people and train them, that's our goal. When I was on my own and going out, I needed the work. I needed the continual work. I was taking care of people, and I noticed then more and more people call me because their friends would refer me. And so I built a following. Mm-hmm. And then I started hiring people. And what I realized is the people I hire, some of them don't build a following and others do. And so the way we're different is we preach that you need to build your own following. If you don't have customers that request you, then that's something we eventually will have to talk about.
Okay.
Because if you go to a house and you're kind to people and you fix their furnace, you fix their system right the first time, and you charge them a reasonable price for that service, they're happy. Mm-hmm. They went from cold, in the winter to warm, or in the summer they were hot and you just fixed it. So they're happy. It's really not that hard to make them happy if you care.
Right.
So I guess that's the main thing is we care and we want to do it right.
And I mean, not only are they there to fix, but I mean, they are the face of customer service, essentially, like establish a relationship. That's very smart because in a way, like those are your salespeople at the same time.
100%. Yeah. The dispatcher and the people in the field, those are really the people that are talking to the customers. Then the people in the field are face to face. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah. And I like here, I'm on your website. No contracts ever. A maintenance contract locks the customer in and eliminates choices. I've experienced that. Like even here in Southern California, like my dumb system, if you don't change out the filters in just the right time, it locks you out. And so there's a reset button up there. But man, I know there's a reset button, and I've been able to find it once. And for some reason, 2 other times, I could not find the darn thing. So I called somebody. I tried $80, come out here and press a little red button that I couldn't find. And it irritates me because I'm a pretty handy dude. I'm a pretty handy guy. I do all my toilets, all my painting, all my plumbing, everything except that. And it irritates me.
Yeah. I mean, heating guys are human, and there's some great companies out there, great people. There's also some that, whether it's the company or just the individual tech that, maybe they get paid sales commission or something to sell you something, or
Yeah.
maybe they're just new and unsure, but it happens.
So that is SureTech. I mean, do you want to say anything about your company now? This is kind of a platform where we're learning, but I love to give my guests an opportunity to just talk about their business, and hopefully that we're going to try and reach some people in Vancouver, Washington. But you have anything else you want to note about just your career?
SureTech has been really fun. I've got some good guys that have been with me for a while, and we've done quite a bit of training. We talked about, you have to be a person that creates a following a little bit. You have to get customers that, request you. And I've got a guy, Shane, that is definitely doing that. I get told often, he did a great job. Thanks for sending him out. I've even had people that, are calling us back because something else broke or it broke again, and they still request him. So they still trust him, which is awesome. So yeah, that's been really fun. And then this being about, helping people decide what they want to do. This is an option, HVAC. It's a good option. If you're the kind of person that likes to work with your hands, if you're the kind of person that maybe, in your first car, you installed your own stereo instead of taking it to the stereo store to install it, or you changed your own brakes, things like that, then you can be a service tech, a HVAC service tech. When the economy dies, when things die or slow down, people will stop, maybe going out to dinner, they'll stop going to movies or on vacations, but they will fix their heat. So it's
something you can't really live without, right?
Yeah. So it's a good career. If you struggle sitting at a desk, it's, you get out, you're moving, you get to drive around, you're out and about. So it's a good career.
So as a business owner, what kind of hours do you put in right now? And then what do you expect of your technicians?
The hours, they vary a lot because we're demand based. Nobody's thinking about their heating system. It's not like shopping for a car where you see a AC unit on the side of someone's house and you think it looks really cool and you go over and get the model number and you're, thinking about it. Like, it's not like you're buying a Tesla or something.
Yeah.
So it's reactionary. We get called when their system breaks, and their system will break when it's hot and when it's cold. It won't break when it's in between. We fill those in between seasons with maintenance agreements. Basically, the way we do it, you referenced this earlier, we don't make them sign a contract, but we put them in our system and give them a call.
Okay.
And they usually say yes, and we come out, do a maintenance, and with that maintenance, they get benefits. They get a discount on any repair service. They get a discount on any install as long as they've had those maintenances. So the hours I work is, it varies based on temperature. So in the summer, typically we're working a lot. I used to work way too much, and then I decided, go back to the whole family thing, and I want to hang out with my family. So I started having boundaries. Some people, when they have no AC, they're very upset, and you got to get out here today. And we just kind of started going, okay, we're going to fill our schedule. This is how much we're willing to work. And then that's it, which is still a lot, because we do want to take care of them. They're hot. That's when we have the business. And then spring and fall really slows down and I have extra free time. This year's actually been a little bit slower, so I've had more free time. And I've got guys that go out and do the calls. So it's nice.
Yeah. And then what were the hours of your techs? I mean, generally you have operating hours like 9 to 5 pretty much.
Yeah, 8 to
24-hour services.
Our phone's open 8 to 5. The guys work 8 to 4:30 is their normal time, half-hour lunch, but it's hard to get. We don't get those hours exactly. In our slow seasons, they get at least 30 hours, and in our busy season, they could get 60. They could get as much as they want. So yeah, it varies, but somewhere in there.
All right. Any interesting stories? So I don't have to name names or anything, but for example, like I had my brother on, he told me his favorite cop story pretty much. Do you have any, or just outstanding people that you've had the pleasure of meeting while doing what you do?
I mean, you just mentioned a cop story. I don't know if that's a good one or not, but
hey,
basically I have well, this is from Pondo. I lived at Pondo, and I wanted to get the boys a new dog for Christmas. Santa was going to bring him. I went to North Hollywood to pick up this dog and went to Target and went in to buy dog food and things. Mm-hmm. Came back out and the dog had pooped on my seat. I was like, perfect. Guess she doesn't like me yet.
Oh man.
So I go back in, come out, clean it up. And I think I was coming back out for the second time. And I was coming between these cars, cars are parked like this,
Hmm.
side by side. And I was walking through them. And I get to the end and I hear freeze. And I turn around and there's a lady cop with her hand on her gun. So we're 2 car lengths apart from each other. And I don't know what I was thinking. I like to be helpful, so I turned around and was like, "Hey, I'm not the guy, but I can help you look for him.
And
Who are you looking for?" And she freaked out and pulled her gun on me. And then it was even in my brain, it was like this pause, and I didn't know what was happening. But like I could see the round barrel, I could see the square outline of the gun,
mhm.
and it. And then I'm thinking, why am I looking at this? I need to slowly turn around before I get shot. And so I just slowly turn around and get on the ground. She gets me down. Her partner comes skidding up, and now they've both got me on the cop car. And basically, and asking me, "Do you have any weapons?" And I was like, "No." And I go, "Oh, actually, I have a little knife on my keychain." And they got more aggressive. And
Oh man.
I was like, and I'm a pro officer, by the way. She was
Circumstance,
scared, I
but
think,
yeah.
but
Well,
um,
supposed to be trained
in
to.
my actions of turning around, taking a step towards her, that was not a good idea. So anyway, it turns out a guy matching my description. Oh, and they went even over, went and checked out my car.
Hmm.
We had a black Volvo. I don't know if we had that when you were there.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and
Okay.
they saw the lovely poop on the seat.
Yeah. And they didn't find what they were looking for inside, which was a guy wearing a jacket similar to mine, stole a big screen TV at knife point, pulled a knife on one of their employees when he tried to stop him, and
Mm-hmm.
then put it in a black BMW, in a black car.
Mm-hmm.
And so they thought I was him. And as I'm on the hood, the guy from Target runs out. "That's not him. That's not him. It's the guy pulling away right there." And they just were out. So that was scary.
So no apologies, no my
No,
bad. It's just like we
no.
out.
I would just think, as you're if you're any cops out there, as you're taking the cuffs off, just figure this person. If this person was innocent, they're scared. Just say
Yeah,
real quick, "Sorry, man,"
yeah.
and move on.
Hi. Okay. Well, I wouldn't go to North Hollywood, so that's number one there. But
Yeah, it's probably
uh,
not the best move.
right. Yeah. Well, was a dog worth it? At least
She's amazing. She's 12 now. She's been an amazing dog.
that's good stuff. Any fun camp stories that stand out in your 6 years that you were there?
I mean, the camp was just fun. It's different than heating because it was junior high and high schoolers led by college kids. So they're all kids. I call them kids. I know they're adults, the college
We're
kids,
yeah,
but
we're grown. Yeah.
yeah. But they all just want to have fun. So it's,
Do you hear that?
yeah, who's that?
Sorry, folks. That's my oldest. He just got back from a walk, and he's 3. He's working through some things, and as 3-year-olds do. So we're learning how to control our emotions and all that. But we might have to edit that out a little bit. I have a feeling he didn't want to.
It's
He didn't
awesome
want to.
though.
He didn't want to come in.
Hey, any parents that are dealing with that right now would like to hear that. Like, it
I'll leave a
happens to me.
little bit. I'm gonna leave a little bit of it in, but I can see the bar on my microphone just going in the yellow, and
That's
like,
funny.
okay, bring it down. Okay, once he gets his snack, he'll be okay. I think we're almost done. All right, so the camp life. I mean, yeah, we're grown, but it was a wonderful time.
Yeah, so I think my favorite thing, like I said, my kids, the way the college kids came around my kids, but everyone was happy. It made it a fun environment, all the fun activities we did. But even with all that, I think my favorite part of the summers was the Friday meetings when we were done and everybody would circle up. And there was always some counselor or some kitchen staff, even somebody who their story aligned so closely with one of the campers that they really ended up having a connection. And so for me, it was the way God worked in people's lives in that we are, whether people believe in God or not, we are built for relationship. So that was really cool.
All right, Justin Brown, that was awesome. I really appreciate having you on the podcast, and I want to stay connected. I don't want to just have you on and then never talk to you again, because that would be very rude. And so yeah, if you're going to plan a trip down to Southern California, would love to host you or reconnect and do something. So Aaron is in Vegas, but if you're ever near there, I'll meet you in Vegas, because I've only been once, had a terrible time. I'd like to try it again.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, and if we come to California, we will definitely contact you, and it'd be great to hook up
Yeah.
and catch up. So,
All right.
and this is really cool that you're doing this, and it's fun to watch your life progress and your marriage and kids. It's kind of, I like the interruption.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's much different, right?
It's cool.
I talk to people and I'm like, hey, do you want to build a podcast? It's fun. It's a conversation. And I hope to learn something about you, about what you do. And then other people can learn and really, and again, it goes back to a career based. This whole thing is career based, because I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was 18. And I think it's insane that we expect kids or people in college or people in high school, to know what they're going to do for the rest of their lives, or at least immediately. Because as an 18-year-old, you say, hey, I'm going to go drop 20K this year, 30K on 1 year of education. And I can't fathom that. And I couldn't fathom that. And that's why I dropped out initially. And so that's the point of this, is to give people, whether they're young, considering college, or they're a little bit older and they're considering doing something different. There's so many options out there. I mean, listening to you went from, architecture to HVAC 1 year, and then opening your own gig and maybe not doing it the way you wanted to, and then the camp thing, and then back to SureTech. So, it's amazing to see that progression. And I don't want to sum up your whole life in 30 seconds, but I just want to summarize it all. So, it really is an amazing thing, the lives that we get to live.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, Justin. Well, one more thank you, and I wish you the best with your business. And when you get here, give me a call.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks for having me on.
Justin. See you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to the Ignite Clarity Career Podcast. If you have a moment, please follow, rate, and share with your friends and family. Special thanks goes out to my guest this week, and I really hope you enjoyed our conversation. Ignite Clarity Career Podcast is a presentation of Ignite Clarity Career Coaching, and it's produced by me, Tyler Glick. Till next time.